You know, Rico, I'm kind of hungry.
You hungry?
Yeah.
What are you hungry for?
I kind of want some curry.
I can make that happen.
This is not the curry I was talking about, but I'll take them.
Fair enough. Hey everyone, welcome to SneakerWeb. My name's Rico,
My name's Chris.
and today we have a very special shoe and a new brand to talk about. The Curry brand featuring the Curry 8. And Chris, let me tell you, I am very, very impressed with these.
I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle? Is it aesthetics or is it design-wise?
I'm actually pretty happy with the design.
Mm-hmm.
Aesthetic-wise, I think there are certain things about the shoe that I would change.
This is the Chinese New Year colorway, by the way, which on today we are celebrating the Lunar Year for whenever you guys see this recording.
So happy Lunar Year to you guys.
Happy 2021 Lunar Year.
Yeah, this is for you guys. So getting into the shoe, I would probably say the first thing that obviously pops out to the both of us is the colorway.
Yes.
Major
This is
pop,
actually a nice balanced red in my opinion. It's also very monochromatic of different shades of red throughout.
Yeah, and seeing the materials on here, there are some, I guess, ways that Curry has stepped away from previous Currys, especially with this material over here on this side.
Now that is synthetic, just letting you know.
Yeah, and I felt that was a very different approach because a lot of the Curry shoes, they've had a type of prime knit material or even a knitted material before in the past, but a lot of the times you don't see this kind of material on the edge of Curry shoes a lot of the time. So that's a very new thing for me. Would
you like to know why they went with synthetic instead of genuine leather?
I'm actually kind of curious because when I touched it, I realized it wasn't
actual leather.
Yeah.
So why they actually went with this, and I learned this from Chris over at the Weartesters site. So why they did that is through the design process and through the wear testing process. So genuine leather is a genuine material.
Right.
So when you play in it, the skin is actually going to soak up moisture and actually lose some of the rigidity that you're going to get from a genuine leather or genuine material.
Okay.
So that's why they went with the synthetic material, because it's going to hold up longer, it's going to last longer, especially when you're running around as much as Curry is.
I am actually quite happy that he stuck with his low top design.
Yes.
I was a very huge fan of his previous Curry that had the low top design. So shout out to Curry for keeping that.
But trying these on, you do sit within the midsole. I will say that.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm actually very, very, very curious as to why he went with gold stitching instead of a stamp or a plastic gold that he could put on to make it pop a little bit.
I don't know. I kind of like the stitching. It gives it some texture, in my opinion.
Yeah, for the feels it does.
Yeah.
But overall, like the heel tab.
So you wanted it more like the tab on the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the tab on the top is more of a thicker material. You can feel that. Now where the lace meets at the very top here, that makes sense.
That gold accent.
Yeah, that gives it a nice little pop. You know, it gives it that accent color. So you have an entire red, but you're not flowing with red. You have that tiny prints of gold everywhere. So that I can appreciate that a lot. But ultimately, this shoe is solid to me. I think colorway wise, aesthetic wise, just the small minor things I think for me is just really what it is. But other than that, if he had gone with some plastic gold plated parts maybe even on the heel tab, I think that would have sold the shoe 100% for me. But ultimately, I give it a good best.
All right. And actually getting down to the midsole, which we've talked about the upper quite extensively, getting down to the midsole, I don't know whether to call it a midsole or an outsole because it's literally all in one. The bottom and the cushion system are all foam.
Yeah.
So, and foam, this isn't the first time that this has been done. But because it's on one of the top athletes today, that's why it's such a big deal. But foam is actually more grippier, or is proven more grippier than regular outsole rubber. And the reason is because of that squeaking that you hear. Squeak is actually a loss of traction. That means you're losing grip on the basketball court. So with this, apparently they heard no squeak with the foam testing and all that. So they thought, okay, that has a better traction ratio. Now, so putting this on the table, this is not an ideal traction test, but putting it on here, like I'm actually forcing this. And it's shaking the table if you can't tell by the other shoe. So it's very good at resisting whatever surface it's on. And the Under Armour Flow technology is what they're calling this. And I don't know what to compare this to. Like trying it on, because yes, it's a neutral cushion, but it's not a neutral dense cushion.
Right.
It's a cushion where, like the name implies, it kind of flows within your stride.
I can say one thing though. I do realize that even if you make a quick stoppage point, so if you're running and you're trying to do a step back, I've noticed that even they've created little indentions in the bottom back here that kind of flows up. Because if you see it, it's all catered to basically movement. So the more, I guess, traction the back gets, the smaller that gets. But as it gets bigger and widens out, you still get that.
Actually, I did just notice that as well.
Yeah. Wow. So they've already shown the impact points, and then they've shown the separation points of where that impact would flow out of. And this shoe, I feel like, does that pretty perfectly. Now, it works also because it is a low top. So granted, although there is extra padding inside, I personally, this would probably be my go-to because I do like low top basketball shoes. It just, having the knitting feel, having that breathable material.
Have you seen some of the other colorways?
I have, actually.
Okay, which one's your favorite? Nice. So far that you've seen?
I would say
I went with this because of personal reasons and color reasons.
I would say this is probably the top one out of all of them.
Out of all of them?
I'm a huge red fan. I like the color red.
Okay.
A lot. And
I thought you would pick the multicolor one out of all of them.
The multicolor was okay, but for a daily wear, like I could see somebody wearing this casual because of the color style. The multi was kind of like a little bit out there. I could see that more as like a basketball shoe, like it's like look wise. Yeah. But this can kind of flow in any direction, and I think flow. Bottom of the shoe, don't forget. But I feel like it flows in any direction, and I think this shoe is all around, just like Curry, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can only imagine if you're wearing these, what they would feel like on the inside. Do you care to elaborate?
On the inside, the fit actually is true to size, in my opinion, even after walking around it and feeling all the sculpting in the back. It doesn't push you forward, all this sculpting in the back. It actually molds to you and acts like a suction cup, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So it pulls your heel down because, again, it is a low top, so you're relying on all the minimal support features, like the heel sculpting, like the heel counter, which, by the way, the heel counter is actually pretty tall. That's about, 2-3 inches?
But I feel like it makes sense because they still added this padding back here, so you don't want all that exposed, and then you're sliding the shoe in.
And also, it's a very nice knit. It's not a plastic knit.
Yeah.
There's very few fuse wear areas. There's only some on the eyelets, and I believe that's it for average wear. And then the synthetic leather acts like your protection system. Well, acts like your support system. But the knit, I have no problems with it. It doesn't pinch in any weird ways. Because the laces are not here, all the way down here, there's no weird flex point right there. So overall, I would say go true to size in these. Even I don't know about wide footers, only for the simple fact it's not exactly like a true to size, like snug your feet kind of like the Kyrie's. But I would say for wide footers, if you're wearing these casually, I would say go up half a size, but after some of the break-in process, I would say go true to size.
Okay. I feel that.
I could be wrong. I mean, wide footers, it's an iffy situation. They already know.
Yeah, and I mean, I could really appreciate the stretch material on this. Yeah. Because if you see it, it's like triple stitched. And even though you can see through the beams and the lines.
I'm pretty sure you're going to be rocking some like neon socks through here, and you can see them.
And it's pretty dope because that basically shows you the breathability, and that basically shows you, there will be no, little to no foot sweating.
No,
because of that breathability. And I think a lot of shoes lack that, if I'm being honest.
Yes.
I do feel like going with the knitted material, it gives you more opportunity to free flow. Other than those minor things that I stated, I'm really, really feeling this shoe.
All right.
And, you know, it took me a while to get into Curry's, I'm not going to lie. The previous silhouette really set in stone for me.
I think my favorite out of his line so far was the 4.
Really?
Yeah, the 4 is my favorite.
Which one was the one where he had the white shoe and then had like a black upper and then had an icy sole at the bottom? Do you remember that one?
I feel like it's either the 4, 5, or 6. It's one of the 3.
It's probably the 6 or 5.
Because you're talking about the shroud, like the leather shroud that was on top?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Okay.
But it had like, I don't, you know, that just tells you, you know what I mean? Like, I just started following like Curry's like OD like maybe like a year ago.
Okay, at least for me, I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Sneakers kind of started relatively around like 4 to 5 years ago. So when I was in high school, a lot of the things like the Kobe line, the Derrick Rose line, the LeBron line, all those, and the Curry line, all came out during those times.
Yeah.
And I can only buy so much with my lunch money. I'm not kidding. I will save. I'm pretty sure my dad's gonna hate this if he ever watches it. I will save my lunch money and share somebody else's food. Remember when that was a thing, when you could share food with somebody?
And they wouldn't care.
Exactly. Now we have to, you know, like guard our food like little gremlins.
Boundaries. Whatever.
But yes, I saved my lunch money for the shoes that I could afford, and my favorite line was the Derrick Rose line. So that's the only line I stuck with, which is why the Kobe Project exists.
Yeah, I couldn't afford shoes on my own, at least, you know, foreign parents and that. You get what you get, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But, you know, as an adult, obviously, I was able to go out and do my own thing,
Yes.
buy my own shoes. And I feel like little by little, I'm having more of a deep appreciation for Curry, not only because of his reputation, but
Yes.
I think it just, when a player makes a shoe, you feel like that player should have that comfortability, that aesthetic. It should basically be what the player would actually wear. And I'm not talking about the minivan Kobe's.
No.
I'm talking about, you know, down to the aesthetic, down to how their foot feels, and
Yes.
down to how they play. And I think Curry really set in stone, you know, where his line is going to go down the line. I'm glad that Under Armour is
Again, not
using
even his own
shoe.
line; it's his own brand now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm glad Under Armour is using his brand to experiment
Yes.
with different mid, you know, outsoles, whatever the case may be, different
I
materials.
don't know what to call this.
We don't know what this is, but what we do know is that the traction is fire.
Yes.
It is foam, and hey, I'm with it.
I'm
honestly.
with it too. Well, now we're rambling. So I think that kind of wraps things up for the Curry 8. And again, performance review is going to happen on these, mostly outdoor. Like I said, I only got one indoor option at the moment. Florida, it's not a really good place here for COVID and things. So, but yes, that kind of wraps things up, everything for here. Also, special shout out to Too Lethal, rocking one of the best apparels that I feel that he sold, the Mamba Stole Christmas, which the Grinch actually stole Christmas from him because he lost against LeBron on Christmas Day.
Oh, that's tough.
But yes,
LeBron on Christmas.
give him a shout out, give him a follow, see what type of apparel he has. Actually, I believe he just released everything. Like everything he's ever released so far.
Okay.
Depending on when this video comes up, it's either he's sold out or he's not. One of the two. Either way, go check it out for the next time that he drops something. But other than that, thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, really helps us out a lot. And until next time, guys, peace.
Later.